We feature sterling athletes today on Future Phenoms. And where else would we start than in Oklahoma with the aptly named Sterling Shepard? But we also bring you the story of the fastest man in the nation's capital and the best runner in the Bay Area. So smile. Future Phenoms starts right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the best 30 minutes in high school sports. I'm your host, Pat Summerall. Over the next half hour, we'll take you coast to coast and in depth with the brightest young stars in sports. Coming up today, we have a host of big-time playmakers, including the best Ronald in D.C. since Reagan and an electric runner out west. But we start off in the heartland, where the state of Ohio keeps pumping out quarterbacks. Last year, the Buckeye State was the breeding ground of some big-time signal callers. Connor Cook of Cuyahoga Falls now plays at Michigan State, and Braxton Miller of Huber Heights is the starter at Ohio State. And now another playmaking quarterback is coming down the Ohio pipeline. Middletown High School always has one of the top programs in Ohio, and this year the Middies are led by star quarterback Jalen Marshall. The 6-foot-tall, 190-pound Marshall is very similar to Braxton Miller. He can beat you with his big arm or his world-class speed. In the first half of the 2011 season, Marshall had already racked up 1,000 yards rushing and thrown for 500 more. The scary part of Marshall is that he still has a year of high school football left. By the time he graduates in 2013, Marshall might be the most highly recruited quarterback in the nation. Let's move from quarterbacks to wide receivers as we head southwest. At Heritage Hall in Oklahoma City, Sterling Shepard has made a name for himself with his incredible ability to catch the football. This private school of 850 students is no stranger to talent at the wide receiver position. After all, Wes Welker of the New England Patriots was once a standout for the Chargers. At 5'11" and 180 pounds, Shepard resembles the size of Welker, as he uses Welker's success as the little guy of the NFL as inspiration.
He kind of paved the way for the little guys. Went to his camp last year and helped work it out, and he was there, talked to the kids, and he's always coming around. All hats off to him.
Last season, Shepard shredded defensive units with over 1,500 yards receiving and an eye-popping 28 touchdowns. At the midway point of the 2011 season, he's totaled 596 yards and 6 trips to the end zone. But he isn't the only one in the spotlight at Heritage. Barry Sanders Jr., the son of the great Barry Sanders, is also a teammate of Shepard. He, too, possesses some incredible abilities on the football field.
I mean, it frees me up a lot because they can't throw as free safety up top of me, but they double-team me at the end of the season. So, but it's great having him on the team.
Oklahoma will soon be getting a better look at Sterling Shepard's ability. He has already verbally committed to play for the Sooners and will be following in his father Derek's footsteps. Derek Shepard was a talented receiver who helped contribute to Oklahoma's national championship team in 1985. Now Sterling and all of the Sooner Nation are hopeful that history will soon repeat itself. The fastest player in the nation runs circles around the competition in D.C. As we head northeast, national correspondent Mike Rigg has a story of Ronald Darby. Mike?
Washington, D.C. is a city that's united by its divisiveness. Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, red states and blue states. Residents of D.C. live every day with the fact that very few of them can agree on very much. But now, with another presidential election upon us, there's one platform that every D.C. resident can agree on. It's not in the halls of Congress either. On the high school football fields in D.C. and its surrounding suburbs, the Beltway is popping out big-time football talent at an eye-popping rate. 3 years ago, Jelani Jenkins of Olney, Maryland was the nation's top linebacker. Last year, Cyrus Quanjo of Beltsville, Maryland was the country's top offensive line prospect. And this year, Ronald Darby of Oxon Hill, Maryland might be the most dynamic, all-around athlete in the nation. In a city where they don't agree on much, residents of D.C. can all stand together and brag that they might have the most underrated recruiting ground in the nation.
Yeah, it's very underrated because, the big places like Texas, California, they get to look first because that's where a lot of big-name players came from. But now a lot of big name players starting to come out of Maryland.
Do you think this is one of the most underrated football regions in the entire country?
I don't think. I know it's one of the most underrated places.
Darby might just be the best D.C. resident named Ronald since Reagan. He plays everything from Potomac High School, and I mean everything. Cornerback, safety, running back, receiver, kick returner, and even kicker. For him, it's all about speed.
Whether it's the federal government or the city's notorious traffic, nothing ever really moves fast here in Washington, D.C. That is, except for Ronald Darby. This kid is seriously fast, like Olympic sprinter fast.
When he's not on the football field, Darby sets records at track. He's the nation's fastest teenage runner in the 100 and 200-meter sprints. His track exploits have taken him all over the world, to places as far away as Japan.
Well, how do you get started in track?
My 9th grade year, I was having like knee problems with my growth spurt, so my knees are hurt. And towards the end of the season, I started to get even more faster, so my coach was just like, you should try for track. And I came out here.
He made Ronald run track because he didn't know anything about running track, but we saw that the speed that he was gifted with, we saw that how if he keep working hard, he can be probably one of the fastest kids in the country. He was blessed with speed, God-given ability, and the only thing we could do is ask him to just keep working hard and run track.
Speaking of track, this is the track that Darby practices on every day. A potholed, ankle-twisting mess that's a far cry from the perfect ovals at the D.C. private schools.
The coach wanted me to ask you about this track we're standing on here. I mean, there's potholes, there's rubber coming off. I mean, you don't have to have great facilities to be great athletes, right?
No, not at all. This guy had determination, really.
In college, Darby won't have to worry about facilities like this. After his junior season, when he rushed for 1,400 yards and scored 23 touchdowns, he received scholarship offers from every major program in the nation. On the day we visited his high school, the recruiting letters were piling up. However, one recruiting pitch stood out, as he's verbally committed to play football and run track at Notre Dame. Be it South Bend or the NFL or even the Olympics, sports fans will enjoy watching Ronald Darby for a long time to come.
What's your favorite part of playing football?
Playing, really. That's my favorite part, is playing. Just to be able to go out there and compete. I just love to compete.
In a city divided, watching Ronald Darby play is about as good as it gets. In Washington, D.C., I'm Mike Rigg.
Thank you, Mike. Still much more to come on today's show. Right after the break, we go back to the Bay Area and introduce you to a dynamic running back, Byron Marshall. Plus, we tell you about a rising star on the Bayou and rank the nation's top signal caller. So don't go anywhere.
Would you like to be a future Phenom? Contact the show by email, fp@prepticket.com.